John felt rather sheepish as he walked into the lobby at the Women's Refuge, an anonymous unit behind a downtown shopping mall. "Hi, I'm John Barnes. I think Sarah, my wife, is here," he said awkwardly as he approached the reception desk. "That will be the sour-faced little cow with yellow hair?" the receptionist queried. I was joking," John admitted. "When I filled the form in." "Oh, well, it describes her quite well," the woman replied with an evil grin. "She asked to see me?" John explained. "Yes, I know, the ungrateful little bitch," the woman continued. "You had better come through." John followed her into the back room. It was just a corridor a couple of meters wide. It stunk. The floor was polished white tiles. White tiles also covered the lower walls up to waist height. John had to do a double take. Every 2 meters or so a naked female backside projected through a hole in the wall. A wooden pole inserted at waist that kept the backside projecting into the room, 6 women in all. A janitor with a mop leaned against the wall further down. "Which one is she?" the woman asked. "I don't honestly know," John replied in confusion. "They are only allowed to talk while you are fucking them," the woman explained. "I suggest you narrow it down to a couple and give each one a try." "What?" John exclaimed. "These women come in complaining about being raped and abused. We sympathize and seek to rehabilitate the relationship. We believe that helping women to understand that the sex act is normal, routine, nothing special, but the husband's love for his wife, which leads him to seek to have sex with her, is really special." "Bloody hell," John gasped. "Of course some of the girls are just stand-ins, not wives," the woman explained. John looked quite astonished. "Oh, come now, it's not that strange," the woman said. "Why, I sometimes do a turn when we are quiet." "I don't understand," John explained, shaking his head. "First we get the ladies' trust. We pamper them and get them all showered, coiffured, manicured, and perfumed." She grinned. "And then?" John queried. "Rob the janitor fucks them." She laughed. "In the corridor, usually though round the back by the dust bins, is equally good." "What? He rapes them?" John gasped. "Hardly rape, more providing a service. Usually they're gagging for it anyway, and he always uses a condom," she replied. "You see, we ladies do need a good shagging every now and again," she blushed. "My name is Melissa, by the way." John, yes." John said awkwardly. "Does you wife shave?" Melissa asked. Yes, partly," John agreed. He caught Melissa's gaze. She was about 35, he guessed, older than him. Her breasts swelled quite nicely in the crisp white doctor's smock. His expression asked the unspoken question. "Yes, I do sometimes," she said. "Would you like to see?" No thanks," John declined. "Or see my boobies?" she queried. "Lots of boys like to play with my boobies." I just want to see Sarah," John explained. "You need a fuck?" Melissa inquired. "Are you missing her?" "No, I can't use the damn washing machine, and the kids are doing my head in," he admitted. "Oh, well, I can't help with domestic chores," Melissa admitted. "But I'm horny and I'm on reception all night, so it looks like I only have a choice of either you or Rob the janitor if I want to get laid." Melissa unbuttoned her smock. Her bra was sheer white with the cups cut away to reveal her nipples. Her white suspender belt supported white stockings, and her panties were tiny white lace with a split crotch. "No, I want Sarah," John insisted. "Oh, well, if I can't tempt you, try number 3. As soon as you start fucking, I'll remove her gag." Melissa sighed. John walked up to number 3 and loosened his pants, letting them fall to his knees. Her quim pouted and her ass looked inviting, but just a little too high to spear easily. "Use the wooden blocks to adjust your height," Melissa suggested. John saw the pile of various sized timbers on the floor. He selected a 50mm block and stood on it. His cock was exactly in line with her pouting, glistening cunt, and with the lightest push he slid inside her. "Oh, Sarah, I missed you," he sighed. Sarah's voice came from behind him. "Then why are you fucking that whore?" "You bastard." "You bitch," he wailed. Melissa was laughing, and John craned his neck to look at Sarah. She was in a wheelchair being pushed by the janitor. A ball gag hung round her neck. Her arms were bound to the arms of the wheelchair, her feet bound to the footrest. Her waist was bound to the back of the chair with blue ropes matching those which encircled her breasts. "What have you done to her?" John demanded. "A vibrating butt plug," A vibrator up her cunt and a little electric shock machine up her pee hole, Melissa explained. In addition to what you can see. Dear God, John exclaimed, but the woman was working her cunt muscles, milking John's cock. Oh fuck, he proised, but it was far too late, and he shot his milky cum deep into a woman who he didn't know, had never spoken to and never seen. Poor Sarah needed that cum, John, Melissa chided. Bastard, Sarah snapped. Ag? Don't swear, Melissa chided. I zapped her pee hole, she explained. I'll set her dildos to 7 for a few moments then zap her again. She usually orgasms when I do that. John looked confused as his shrinking cock slipped from the girl's cunt. It's all controlled from an app on my phone, Melissa explained. Sarah looked confused. She began perspiring and then she convulsed and began gasping. See, she's having another orgasm. That's what, 20 today? Melissa asked. 19 from the DS and 2 from my cock, the janitor announced proudly. Really? Have you been O/DING on the Viagra again? Melissa asked. Because let's face it, she's no porn star. That's a bit harsh, John suggested as he looked for something to wipe his cock on. I suppose it depends on what sort of porn you watch, Melissa suggested, babes or reality porn. I guess, John agreed. We were childhood sweethearts, sort of grew up together. I can see why she got her claws into you, but you could do so much better, Melissa suggested. She undid the lower buttons on her smock and began to gently frig herself. Air, I gasped. John, Sarah shouted. Don't wipe your cock on your ag. Melissa grinned. Don't criticize your husband. Haven't you learned anything? Sarah glared an icy glare as the dildo and butt plug slowly accelerated from speed 7 towards max. Oh fuck, not again, she protested. No, she needs a cock to suck, Melissa said knowingly. She slipped across to Sarah's side and expertly slipped a ring gag between Sarah's teeth. So go on, John. Put it in her mouth. I'm not hard and it needs a wipe, John said apologetically. That's what a wife's mouth is for. Cleaning cocks, Melissa explained. How on earth is she supposed to learn without your help? John found sticking his cock in Sarah's mouth was easier said than done. She was trussed securely into the wheelchair, but she turned her head until the janitor held her cheeks, and even then he had to stand awkwardly with legs splayed each side of the chair. His cock started to swell as he felt Sarah's tongue and lips, and she started to choke, exciting him further. His knob end tickled her tonsils, his helmet cut her air supply, and she started to cough, sucking him further into her throat. The feeling was exquisite as he fucked her to death. Fuck her, Melissa whispered. Don't worry, we have a defibrillator somewhere if she has a cardiac arrest. No, I can't, John protested, but his aching balls proved him wrong by producing a few more drips of creamy cum as his muscles tried to pump every ounce of fluid from his empty balls. Oh fuck, she stopped breathing, he exclaimed, as he dragged his cock from her mouth. Sarah. Sarah suddenly convulsed, coughed and gagged as Melissa zapped Sarah's pee hole with the app from her phone. Sarah looked around wildly. It's all right, darling, I'll take you home, John promised. But John, you fucked number 3, and she is a trained nanny, Melissa suggested. Come and meet her first. John was shattered, 2 orgasms in 10 minutes. He needed to rest and could not resist as Melissa led him round to the other side of the wall. 6 girls all bent double with their asses through the wall. Number 1, a sour-faced cow of about 60 with a red ball gag. Number 2 was even older. 4, 5, and 6 were girls from the Blue Angel Bothell above Timothy White's on Inkerman Street. And number 3 was like an angel, like the one with the dark hair from ABBA, but with the blonde one's ass. Are you who fucked me? Number 3 asked. Yes, sorry, John apologized. Don't apologize, it was nice, especially when you shoot your load, she simpered. Annalise, number 3, is a lesbian and trying to get pregnant, Melissa explained. Right? Why? John asked in confusion. A turkey baster is so messy, Melissa confirmed. Much nicer to have it draft, so to speak. Are you all a load of perverts? John demanded suddenly. I guess, the janitor chipped in. All I want is my shirts ironed. The kids looked after and a fuck when I feel like it, John explained. Then you need a nanny and a whore, not a wife, Melissa explained. Go home and think. Think who made Sarah the way she is. John thought carefully about who made Sarah the way she was. That cold-hearted bitch of a mother of hers, of course. John needed a drink. He went home via the pub, had a few small beers, and drove home. The babysitter had gone when John got in. Sarah's mother, Miriam, was with the kids. "Where the hell have you been?" she demanded. "Out, you stupid bitch," John pointed out. "Visiting your mean-spirited, frigid daughter, of course." "How dare you call Sarah such awful names?" Miriam snapped. "Why not? It's true, and it's all your fault," he explained. "All your snidey little remarks, you frigid cow," he shouted and went to slap her across the face. She staggered back into the winged, easy chair, which toppled over backwards, leaving her on her back with her legs feebly waving in thin air. "Where's that henpecked husband of yours?" John demanded. "Right here, old chap," Jeffrey announced. "Splendid speech. I wish I'd had the gumption to do it years ago." "Get me up," Miriam protested. "Nice legs, shame about the face," John suggested as he stared at Miriam's stocking-clad legs and lack of panties. "'Fraid the old trout gets thrush if she wears pants," Jeffrey sighed. "Reckons I gave her VD." "Did you?" John asked. "Probably," Jeffrey agreed. "I say, would you mind awfully holding her shoulders while I fuck her? I don't often get the chance. To be honest, she's giving me a bit of a woody too," John admitted. "Tell you what, how about a threesome?" Jeffrey suggested. "You can do the front to begin with and change ends halfway like the queers." "No offense, but I spunked twice since tea time, and she really is not my type." John apologized. "Nor mine, but any old trout in a storm," Jeffrey agreed. "We could stick a broom up her cunt and make her sweep the patio," John suggested flippantly. "And a rake up her ass so she can rake the lawn," Jeffrey laughed. "Are either of you imbeciles going to help me up?" Miriam demanded. "No," Jeffrey declared. "Let's strip her naked and put her in the garden like a dog," John suggested. "Let's face it, she is a right bitch." "Capital idea," Jeffrey agreed. But by the time they had her bra off, the scent of aroused cunt had their cocks stiffening. "Me first, I think," Jeffrey suggested as he dropped his pinstripe trousers and aimed his tool unerringly into Miriam's pouting snatch. "Oh, you bastard, you total bastard," Miriam protested as Jeffrey filled her void with his engorged manhood. John watched for a few minutes, but when Jeffrey started sucking Miriam's tits and saying he loved her, he wandered off up to bed. He was almost asleep when Jeffrey came into his room. "Your turn, old chap?" "Bit knackered, I'm afraid," John apologized. "Nonsense," Miriam announced as she followed Jeffrey into the room. She ripped back his bedclothes and grasped John's manhood through the fly in his pajamas. Plenty of life in it. His cock reared and Miriam was kneeling astride him and lowering herself as she guided his cock up her snatch. Her loose, warm, sloppy cunt engulfed him like a marshmallow cloud, and he lay back to one of the best lazy fucks he ever enjoyed. "I can't think why you never tried to seduce me before," Miriam announced when he finished. "Jeffrey likes them young, you know." "Look, I just want to sleep now," John declared, and he added, "Good night." John woke with a thump. He had rolled over and fallen out of bed. He heard grunting sounds as Jeffrey fucked Miriam, who had been lying beside him. "Sorry, old bean," Jeffrey apologized. "Carried away, don't you know?" "Bloody hell," John replied. "I could have injured myself." "Don't stop, you old fool," Miriam urged. "It's rare enough that he shows any interest in me as it is." John looked at the bedside clock. 7:30. Time for breakfast. He padded downstairs, turned on the coffee machine, and Jeffrey shouted, "John, you turn." "Don't be bloody ridiculous," John replied as he put several slices of bread in the toaster. "You'll wake the kids." "They won't wake for hours," Miriam replied as she joined John in the kitchen. "I'll just hop up on the work top, shall I?" She was wearing one of John's white work shirts and nothing else. Jeffrey's cum oozed from her pouting cunt, and she should have repulsed John, but something was stirring. "On the worktop, let's do this before the kids come down," John advised. John helped Miriam climb up on the worktop. "Fuck me, darling," she cooed. Miriam's cunt was soft and warm as John slipped his tool deep inside her. Her distended nipples nuzzled his cheese. "Why can't Sarah be more like you?" John muttered. "She is. We both need strong men," she explained. "Don't you understand anything about women?" "I thought she needed my support," he explained. "Stout corset and a decent bra is all the support she needs, you fool," Jeffrey opined as he too wandered into the kitchen. "How Arab you getting on, John? Shall I see if the milkman is around to give you a bit of a break? No, I think I can manage, John agreed, and his cock twitched and started to shoot pint after pint of creamy spunk. Ugh, a voice from nowhere said suddenly. John struggled to make sense of it. Miriam disappeared into the ether. The kitchen dissolved, and there he was in bed with Sarah, with the early morning light streaming through a gap in the curtains. You filthy bastard, you've come in the bed again. John realized he'd been dreaming. A wet dream. Shouldn't have pushed me away. Now shut up, you bitch, and go to sleep, he explained. Don't you dare talk to me like that, Sarah insisted. Or what? John replied. I'll leave you, she snapped. Promises, promises, he sighed. Fuck you. And he rolled over and returned to his dream. Except this time he was fucking Sarah while Miriam slowly wanked herself with a courgette as she watched them.